It began with a whisper that grew into a roar. For decades, Donald Trump bragged about his intelligence, claiming his IQ was unmatched. But late one night, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett shocked Washington by revealing what she said were Trump's long-hidden Wharton IQ records from 1970. The results weren't what his empire of genius had promised. Crockett didn't just release the papers. She turned them into a weapon. In that instant, the myth of the genius billionaire began to shake. Washington has seen bombshells before, but this one landed like thunder. Reporters expected grades or tuition details. Nobody imagined IQ scores. The moment the folders slid across the podium with Wharton seal, the room leaned forward. Crockett's tone was sharp. She reminded America that if Trump mocked others' intelligence, then people had the right to see how he measured up. Cameras zoomed in. The stage was set. For years, Trump wielded IQ as a sword. He boasted of having one of the highest scores in the country. He mocked rivals as low IQ and dared critics to take the test. His supporters used those claims as proof of superiority. But Crockett spotted a crack, the gap between his words and the records. She unfolded the irony with precision. Trump had mocked President Obama's intellect, sneered at journalists, and labeled opponents as dummies. IQ was never about science for Trump. It was theater. Now Crockett was reversing his own trick. For the first time, he wasn't in control. Standing at the podium, Crockett read slowly. Donald J. Trump Wharton IQ Placement Test 1970. The room froze. Then, with calm precision, she revealed the score, well below the genius-level Trump so often implied. Gasps echoed across the press gallery. Crockett explained the test wasn't a random quiz, but a standardized placement exam archived by Wharton. Her framing was ruthless. When a man builds his empire on claims of genius, the public deserves to know if that empire stands on sand. The number placed Trump in the average to slightly above average range, far from the brilliance he boasted. Crockett reminded reporters that IQ tests are flawed, but this was Trump's own yardstick. By his own measure, the emperor wasn't as tall as he pretended. Phones lit up. Hashtags trended. Newsrooms scrambled. Trump's allies dismissed the story as fake. But the image of a self-proclaimed genius with ordinary scores was too powerful. Perception had already shifted. The emperor's myth had cracked. Within hours, Trump fired back online, calling the documents fake news. He boasted again about Wharton and his intelligence. But cable networks replayed Crockett's reveal on loop, while comedians and pundits turned his boasts into punchlines. The spectacle couldn't be undone. Crockett's move wasn't just about IQ. It was about flipping the script. Trump had always kept opponents on defense. Now, he was the one scrambling. His greatest weapon had become a liability. Democrats seized the moment, while Republicans scrambled to respond. Social media turned the story into a carnival. Memes spread like wildfire. Clips of Trump saying, "I'm like a very smart person," were paired with a score. TikTok creators mocked him with skits. Even teenagers who barely followed politics joined the frenzy. Experts lined up to weigh in. Psychologists explained IQ's limits. Historians noted how Trump wasn't the first leader obsessed with intelligence, but he took it further, making IQ central to his brand. Crockett's reveal shattered that image, exposing the weakness behind the show. The fallout wasn't about the number itself. It was about the narrative. Trump had built his reputation on invincibility. Crockett punctured that balloon. Every future insult of low IQ would echo with irony, tied back to that podium and those papers. In the end, the saga proved a lesson. In politics, perception is reality. Trump mastered storytelling, branding himself a genius. Crockett countered with a new story, one where the genius myth collapsed. And that story, once told, cannot be untold.